Before this story begins low, your breathing history often teaches through long changes, through long speeches, grand declarations, sand voices that echo for hours. But this is not one of those stories. This is the story of 2 minutes, 2 minutes that were never meant to be remembered, 2 minutes that did not sound powerful, 2 minutes that did not demand applause, yet everything that followed it was shaped by those words. Welcome to Lumisette Narratives. Here, we do not tell history as it was written. We tell it as it was felt. If you believe that small moments can carry enormous weight, please stays. This is a story about a man who was not supposed to speak in a century that would never be the same again. The room was not grand, was ordinary, grave. With tension, men sat at long tables, papers stacked in front of them, hands folded, tired. They were deciding the future of millions, but none of them felt heroic. Hotano waited, ordinary living, ordinary lives, Sinsidish, Sari lined forward. The meeting had already gone on to long voices, overlapped darkens. Repeated patience, thin. No one was listening any more, Ryanly preparing to defend their own position. Then man stood up, not the most powerful, not the loudest, not the one anyone expected. In fact, some barely knew his name. He was not scheduled to speak. His name was not underlined on the agenda. No one had asked for his opinion. He stood anyway. The room fell quiet, not because he commanded respect, but because people were tired of noise. Cleared his throat, then her spoke. He did not raise his voice. He did not accuse. He did not threaten. He spoke slowly, carefully, if he understood that words once spoken cowed never be taken back. He did not talk about glory, talked about people. He talked about home, sap our children who would grow up with consequences they did not choose, about borders that would slice through lives like knives. He reminded the rooms that decisions made in ink would be lived in blood. Some shifted in their seat, some stared at the table, some felt uncomfortably. Truth rarely arrives politely. He did not ask them to agree. He did not ask them to change everything. He asked them to pause. Just pause for 2 minutes. That was all. When he finished, no one clapped. There was no applause, no dramatic silence. Someone cleared their throat. I there checked the time. The meeting continued. In history books would later record that the decision had already been made. The man sat down and disappeared into the background. No statue was built. No school was named after him, but something had shifted, not visibly, not immediately, but enough, because that night Samin rewrote a sentence, just one sentence, a clause, softened a word. Removed a consequence, delayed no. One credited the mano. One connected the moment, but the ripple had begun. And ripples do not ask permission. History moved on. The world did what it always does. It forgot, the face forgot, the hesitation years. Past then, decades, borders were drawn, laws enforced, nations rose and fell, and in one quiet place people lived. They lived because of a decision that could have been harsher. They survived because a sentence had been softened. They grew old because violence had been delayed just long enough. They never knew his name. They never knew a man had stood and spoken for them without meeting them. Man himself returned home. He did not feel like a hero. He did not feel victorious. He carried the weight of wondering whether 2 minutes had mattered at all. History did not reassure him. Newspapers did not mention him. Colleagues did not praise him. He lived the rest of his life quietly with the unsettling feeling that the most important thing he ever did looked like nothing. Years later, historians would notice something, a agape moment where things could have gone worse, but did not. They would debate reasons. They would argue causes. Few would find the truth that Mrs. story bends not because of force, but because someone speaks. One's silence would have been easier. This is why this story matters, because not every act of courage is loud. Not every turning point is dramatic. Some moments barely leave a mark until you realize that they shaped everything that followed. This story stayed with you, though not rush away. Sit with it, and if you believe that small human moments matters, subscribe to is shape it. Be those who speak even when no one is listening. Tell me in the comment show, you ever chosen to speak even when it felt like it would not matter, because some monastery enough to change a century. If this story stayed with you, do not let it end here. Subscribe to Lumisette Narratives, where history is not shouted, it is whispered. Share this story with someone who believes their voice does not matter. Tell me in the comments, have you ever stayed silent when speaking might have changed something? Because history is not only shaped by power, sometimes it is shaped by 2 minutes and the courage to speak.